Alrighty, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Liam's Lessons. My name is Liam, and today we're going to be talking about focusing on self-talk and action. Now, a lot of what I'm going to be covering now is going to be revolved around that. It's going to be revolved around, obviously, focus, self-talk, you know, how we talk to how we talk to ourselves, and action, and what we do about it. Well, so first of all, what I want to start off with is, um, with all those points, I just want to begin with, you have to give yourself time to succeed. How does that correlate with what we're going to be talking about now? I know for a fact that within the last few days, or within the last few, um, yeah, you could say within the last few days, I've been definitely, I've really cracked down on how I, talk to myself, and what I ultimately do about it. Um, and I've really been focusing on how I kind of just what I take from out here and put in here. Um, but you need to give yourself time to be successful. Now, for me, I've been very, I've been very, I guess, not impatient, but I've been really looking at how I can speed up this process of being successful. And ultimately, what I've come up with is all you can really do is just take that next step aggressively and just try and do the best that you possibly can, without burning yourself out ultimately. But it all comes down to just you need to give yourself time to be this ultimate grand version of yourself, because everyone's path to being successful is different, and everyone takes it at a different speed, at a different time. So you need to give yourself time to do that. Really embrace a process of transforming and transformation, and really embrace that path that you're going to take, because it's different for everybody. um, I know that I've definitely changed within the last few months, within the last few weeks of being showed this business, and understanding that I'm going to need to equip certain skills to be able to be successful. um, Within that time, I guess, have I been, um, thinking on how I can, I guess, speed that up? Definitely. But, I still need to be, you guys still need to be aware that, it's going to take time, and it's going to take, practice. It's going to take different, you need to equip different skills. You need to be teachable. You need a range of different things. Excuse me. But it's all going to take time, and you need to be, accepting of transforming and change, and I guess just growing in this space and in this business. um Things that we can do to kind of just speed that up is following up on daily habits, following up on things we said that we would get done. Accountability is definitely one of your biggest keys within this business or within this space. Keeping people accountable around you is definitely another big key. But most importantly, keep yourself accountable. um with keeping others accountable is one thing, but if you can't keep yourself accountable, that's a very big red flag. That's a very big problem. um I can tell a bunch of people what they need to do and when they need to do it. But if I can't, keep myself accountable and tell myself when I need to get things done and how I need to get them done and by what time or by what date I need to get them done, um that's definitely a big problem in here. And it's something that, um you know people need to face and to I guess take care of as soon as possible, because if you can't keep yourself accountable, you can't keep anybody accountable. um Always focus on progress, not perfection. Be focused, or be obsessed with progression, not perfection. Um, did I just say progress? I'm sorry. Be obsessed with progress, not perfection. Be obsessed with um, taking that next step. Be obsessed with doing it aggressively. Be obsessed with doing it better next time. Don't be obsessed with trying to get everything perfect. Don't be obsessed with the score. Don't be obsessed with the 10 out of 10s. Be obsessed with just taking the next step and doing it aggressively and doing it the best that you can. You will definitely succeed more, or you will go further by doing that than trying to just be as perfect as you possibly can be. Um, and that's coming from a perfectionist. I'm very, very antsy on how I do things. They need to be this way, that way, and they need to be right. They need to be done right. If they're not done right, I'll scratch it and do it all over again. It's a great mindset to have if you do have the same mindset as me, or if you do take that same approach as me. But keep that in mind. But always just be obsessed with just taking that first step. Even if it's a rough first step, just take that first step. It's better than taking it than not taking it. A lot of what goes on in here is going to be the driving force for how we, I guess, go about our day or go about our business or whatever it may be. Elite performers win in their mind first. They win in here before they win out here. When you have the strength, not even the strength, when you understand that the biggest battles go in, that they happen in your mind first, you will dominate whatever goes on out here. Dominating what's in here first is very important. So always be mindful that elite people or elite performers always dominate their mind before they dominate their outer world. The mind is a battleground. Now, the mind is a battleground where, some of the biggest battles that you face will always go on in here before they go on out here. You can have you can have a million different things going on out here, but you'll have a million and one things going on in here first. Excuse me. So always know that if you take care of whatever's going on in your mind, you will take care of ultimately what's going on in your outer world. The thoughts that that win in here will ultimately direct or drive what goes on out here. So if you can, sorry, not if you can, you need to be able to win in here before you can win out here. I know I just said that earlier with that last point, but I really emphasize and reiterate how important it is to win in your mind first. A lot of what we think about, a lot of what we not only think about, but think of ourselves, a lot of what we think about other people, a lot of what we think about other things, we think them in here. We don't think them out here. We don't usually, verbally say everything that we think about. But 100% of the time we do think about, I guess we do think about what we think about, and it goes on all in here. So always be very strong-minded, always be, very aware of what you feed to you feed your brain, because ultimately what you feed your brain is what you're going to be portraying and throwing out into your real world. Mental state, definitely affects physical performance. So like I just said, what you think about in here goes on right there. It's the same with how you with how you perform physically. Being able to be strong-minded in here with whatever you do with your business or with any other goal that you have in mind is just a kind of a stepping stone to being strong in your outer field out here. Being able to, ground yourself in your mental state is definitely going to help your physical performance, a lot. And it's I feel like it's definitely something that I've cracked down on in the last few days. Being able to stay mentally grounded has definitely helped me with just taking care of what I have going on out here. Understand that what you focus on is what you get. So what we put our mind towards, like I've said in other points, what we put our mind towards is what we end up, you can call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it manifesting. You can call it what we receive. If you're a spiritual person, I guess, what the universe ends up giving you. But what we end up, putting our mind towards is what we end up receiving back out here. So if you put your mind towards your business, you will take steps to be better in your business. If you take steps to being in great shape, you're gonna, if you focus on being in great shape, you're gonna, I guess, go to the gym. You're gonna take those first few steps to being able to be in the best shape of your life. If you focus on your financial future, you're going to take steps towards being a, I guess, get better with your money, or trying to accumulate more, whatever it may be, more money, more assets. But understand that whatever you focus on in here is what you will end up getting out here. What else do I want to touch up on? Don't blame, take ownership. Now, it's very easy for us to blame other people, especially when we have a million and one things going on in here. But always take ownership for what you feel like is going on in your head, or for, I guess, maybe you made a mistake out here, always take ownership for it. It's very easy for people to kind of just, you know, blame every second person for a mistake or for something that went on in their life, when they might feel stressed, when they might feel like they have a bunch of different things going on in their head, and it's very hard for them to focus, or it's very hard for them to, you know, get tasks done, get things done, taking the next step towards their goals or their dreams. It can be very overwhelming for some people. um, when you do hit forks in the road, just take ownership for what it is, and don't blame other people, because what you know end up doing out here, what you practice in private is how you perform in public. If I end up just blaming every second person for my mistakes, that's ultimately going to become a habit, and that's ultimately what I'm going to do in front of other people. You know, I could have big teams of people, and I could have accumulated this habit of, when things get tough or when things get stressful, I just end up blaming people. And that if and if people if I portray that, and my teams or people see that, then they're not going to really take me as a very, you know, strong-minded leader, or they're not going to take me as someone who takes ownership for their mistakes. Um, that ultimately falls onto my character, and, you know, it can affect me in the future. Just like it can affect me in that key scenario, it can affect a lot of other people in their daily lives. Um, you know, being able to just embrace what you've done wrong and just take ownership for it is definitely going to help you a lot more than just blaming every second person. I want to finish off with, guys, is um, you know, a lot of what kind of just goes on in here can affect how we perform out here. A lot of what we feed our mind is what we end up, you know, I guess, portraying or throwing out in the real world. Um, embrace what you got going on, embrace the slow grind, embrace the steps that you need to take to be able to be successful, because no one does it overnight. And just understand that everyone's journey is different, and it's everyone's journey is unique. So with that, I'm going to finish it off here, guys. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.